evening. I am a blind comedian. Brace yourself for dark humour. That's not a quip about me being blind, by the way. That's a reference to the fact that I'm about to do 10 minutes of tasteless paedophile jokes. Well, in my defence, she felt old enough. No. Don't, fear not. It's not going to be that kind of comedy. I am going to be talking about blindness today, because when you start out in comedy, they tell you to talk about what you know, talk about what you got direct experience of. So I thought, well, I either talk about what it's like not being able to see, or what it's like living as a black man. But I think that being blind actually is pretty good for comedy, because when you're blind, all sorts of weird things just happen to you on a daily basis. Sorry, I suddenly realised I sound like I'm advertising it to you as a lifestyle choice, don't I? Are there any struggling comedians out there tonight, or aspiring after dinner speakers, need some anecdotes, shorter material? Why not try blindness? It's brilliant. Join the club. Pass me the knife. Well, maybe don't pass me the knife. I'd probably miss. End up lobbing off an ear, and there's absolutely nothing funny about deafness. Nowhere near as commercially viable as blindness. But when you're blind, the ordinary, everyday things that you would just take for granted, they're just turned into these crazy dramas. And I'm just talking about the simple, humdrum, everyday, mundane stuff here, like every single time I get to the car and drive. Although, in fairness, the drink doesn't help. But I was in Australia last year, and what I find is in Britain, if someone wants to ask you about your blindness, they'll do it with a degree of sensitivity. But in Australia, they've got more of a brash, confident, upfront approach to life. So I was in this pub in Australia, and this man, never met him before, just sidles up to me, and his opening gambit is, "What the fuck's wrong with you, mate? Are you on drugs?" Sure. I thought it was an interesting chat-up line, but... I don't know, maybe that is a famous Australian pick-up line. I've not read the famous Australian rule books on flirting, the didgeridoos and don'ts of Antipodes and seduction, 101 ways to get down under, how to have fun in the bush. So I said to him, I said, "Are you referring to my eyes? Because sometimes my eyes will move around in their sockets, searching for the light. Praise the Lord." I said, are you referring to my eyes? And I thought, he's going to cotton on to the fact now that I'm blind, and he's going to adjust his brashness accordingly. But there was no chance of any of that. He just goes, "Yeah, I'm fucking referring to your eyes, mate. They're wobbling around up and down, side to side. What the fuck's going on, mate? Are you on drugs?" But I thought, well, here's the thing, he's Australian, and therefore, naturally, he's brash and confident. Me, being British, naturally, I feel awkward for him on his behalf. Although someone's got to be awkward in this situation, it's clearly not going to be him. I'll take one for the team. So I said, well, what it is, my friend, is I'm blind. And I said it as politely and as sensitively as possible because I didn't want him to feel upset. And I waited. I waited for the tears to well up in his eyes, maybe for him to pull me into an embrace when he realises that his brash, confident Australian ways have just gotten him into trouble with his poor, British, blind, sensitive soul. But there's no chance of any of that. He just goes, well, that's a fucking shame, mate, because I was looking for some drugs. See you later. Don't applaud him. It was hard enough at the time. But, well, so far things are going all right. I should point out that I've been told under no circumstances to overrun. I've got to do between 5 and 7 minutes. But being blind, I've absolutely no idea how long I've done. So I don't know. They did say they would help me flash a light when it was time to piss off, but it's not really going to help. But maybe Danny, the MC, could just shout "fuck off" if I'm overstaying my welcome or something. Now that, by the way, is not an incentive for any of you out there who are not enjoying this to go, "That'll be a funny heckle. I'll wait a minute and then I'll shout "fuck off." It wouldn't be funny. And I also should point out not to heckle me because being a disabled comic, I can report any heckles as a hate crime. And you're not going to get a better heckle put down than a night in prison, my friends. You interrupt the jokey, you land yourself in chokey. Another thing I can't do that a lot of comedians do is a lot of comedians cheat. In order to remember their jokes, they'll write them on their hands. But I read Braille. And there's no joke that I have that is funny enough to have it perforated into my skin and bones. And to be honest, once I've recovered from the resultant skin and bone damage, I don't think I'm going to forget that joke in a hurry, am I? It's like, oh, what's the next joke? Oh, yeah, the one that I severed an artery for, that's right. And it never really gets much of a laugh, that joke, so it was literally all in vain. But the other thing with Braille is you can't really rub it out. So if I wanted to add more jokes, I'd have to just add them to different parts of my anatomy. So my arms, my legs, my penis, if it was a really long joke. That wasn't a joke, just a statement of fact, but thanks for laughing anyway. I'll take whatever I can get. Which also just so happens to be my policy when it comes to my penis. Come and see me after the show if you're interested. Although be warned, if we do end up making love tonight, you will be in for a bumpy ride. Because my cock is covered in Braille. Of course, if I wanted to read the joke in its entirety, if it was a particularly long one on my penis, I would, of course, have to get an erection to read it. I don't think it matters how funny the joke is. I think most people would be distracted by the masturbating man in front of them on the stage. But I don't know, we could try it. Maybe not, we are videoing tonight, actually. And I don't want to get gigs on the basis of producing girth, more like producing mirth, so we won't be doing that tonight. But the thing with Braille is... has the light flashed, by the way? You can be Mike. Did you see a flashing light? No, that's okay. Excellent. So we've still got time for the big finish. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, he's coming on a little bit later on. He's going to do a dance, the big finish. But the other thing with Braille is nowadays you can get access to all sorts of things. Recently, I got a Braille copy of the Kama Sutra. But it was all a bit too much of a faff for me, to be honest. What's wrong with good old-fashioned doggy style? Quite a lot, apparently. The bastards took my guide dog off me. Well, in fairness, they did say cocker spaniel. You know. They told me to give him a bone. I thought these were instructions. But to be honest, I was disappointed with the guide dog. The only reason I got one was because the charity said it would help me get around. Never once got the drinks in. Man, that dog was tight. No. By which I mean it wouldn't get the drinks in. I'm not bad at having sex with the dog. Come on, people, let it go. Which is what the man at the RSPCA said yeah. I think this probably is the time to leave now, isn't it? If we've gone onto the dog shagging material, then I think it definitely is. Thank you very much, everybody. I think I've got myself into hot water.